stage. And I think the consensus right now is Bunji Garlin. I mean, you mustn't lead with the...
I was there.
The keeper of the flame. But I am sharper than blade because I'm too strong. And vengeance in my heart.
Turn it all the way. Let's get all the way.
If you see my face paint up,
you know, this
break
is
your leg on your kneecap.
Would you like tea from a teacup?
That line,
what's it
yes! National award line.
Hold on.
Sip you like tea from a teacup.
Please hold on, everybody.
We have to,
hold on.
Yes.
People, they was giving out awards for lyrics for Butter You Like Cassava.
Yes.
No, but you cannot. But if Bunji has a separate category, right?
No.
So we have national awards for the best lyrics.
You have some,
but then Bunji has a category,
so
and then we will rank.
Okay, so we have from second place go back, and then we go in first place awards.
No. You trying to compare SSFL to Premier League, like Syria or something? You can't do that.
So then,
No.
You see these Joe Public lyrics, so they wanted to get people here against Liverpool currently.
No. What we do it? No. Clear. To be clear.
You still
we have our awards.
You go over SSFL. Let's put them in
Secondary school. What we do it? We have right. So we have two separate leagues right now. We have the national awards for the commoners. And then for the lyricists,
people who you can't
on which we have only identified one true king, the king.
There can only be one.
And then we will rank his lyrics accordingly.
Alright, we'll rank his lyrics.
We will rank him against himself.
Fair enough.
He is the Highlander.
I know Easy Highlander. There can be only one.
I have inside me
blood of kings.
I have no rival.
No man can be my equal.
That is why he's a warrior. That is why he's the Viking. And that's why I say, like, again, you cannot. And that's even when they had this whole split, this whole Marshall Bunji split before real or perceived. Like you cannot deny Marshall, but you cannot deny Bunji. You cannot.
In all fairness, Bunji get more fight than Marshall.
I said this years ago. There was one artist that I could have said possibly eclipsed Marshall during his prime, and that was 2001, 2006, Bunji Garlin.
Yes.
Every time, yes, and if because we talking about, and you see how you cannot separate Soca Monarch from Bunji Garlin, like regardless in competition, out of
dragon there, and so this dragon feel, what does dragon feel it is?
Like I think Soca Monarchs before, good, fine, cool, but I think Bunji Garlin changed Soca Monarch.
He brought back the performance, pageantry.
And I think he brought back interest into Soca Monarch. Like he raised the production value of Soca Monarch.
He made it elite.
Right? You had to be there.
You had to be there. And I feel like artists felt now that they had to compete. They had to put something out on that stage.
I want all of those Soca Monarchs from 2002 to 2007 on DVD because all of those artists went all the way out. And Bunji was
the catalyst for that. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you, and we're looking at just Soca Monarch here, but that you see from Warrior Cry go forward. When you look around the region, all of a sudden now people paragliding in. No offense to those artists. All of a sudden now people want pyrotechnics. All of a sudden now people. Nobody ever set themselves on. Nobody ever set themselves on fire on a Soca Monarch. Like Bunji come out and he said, "Listen."
He said, "Hey,
this is what I will do for the cause.
I'm telling you,
for the culture.
You have to."
Other artists around the region looking and taking notes from what was this 13 years ago? They say.
13 years ago.
Like there
was listen at the time of this where I was
when the song came out,
Mr. Killer was still Baby Killer
sitting
down in Guam ranting, make your rag them fly like a chicken.
And then make your rag them fly like
he was watching
make your rag them fly like an eagle, like you're ready to
leave this world because
make your rag them go up there.
I'm telling you,
and
he was sitting down in Guam watching Bunji Garlin. Baby Killer was watching Bunji Garlin saying,
but Bunji had also included him in asylum a year after he had won the Soca Monarch in Grenada. So I'm sure, and I think him who come in. And I mean, we'll talk about Fayan later because I feel like we need to get Fayan forward because when we talk about Soca Monarch stage, when she was the silver, the silver glider.
Jacket. When you're talking about Soca Monarch, and if you put in that respect on Soca Monarch, this is why you cannot talk to Destra as a female soca artist. We'll talk about female soca artists because not Destra, you can't talk to Fayan. My humblest apologies to Fayan if I may, because the most winningest
female artist is
Fayan, and she was winning Soca Monarch before Soca Monarch became a shamble. Before Soca Monarch became
she was going to
she was winning Soca Monarch before PPP.
But one time
and we know.
But
if you know, you know.
I'm not going down that road.
If you know, you know.
I'm not going down.
If you're
the
running
views
Soca
expressed by
before
Kareem
PPP,
Gibbs are his own views, and they do not reflect the views of all panelists.
Humblest apologies to all offended.
But that is when I was like, if you, and that's what I'm saying, I don't know if, and not to take away from current or even some of the previous Soca Monarch winners, but if you weren't competing in that time, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. If you weren't competing with the best of the best, remember when Bonji tell Iowa, you say you're winning this Soca Monarch, and I think that is great. But Monday morning I'll be in Piaco changing my license. He better car. Sorry, he had better car for the Gen Z amongst us.
I bring a water truck, one pink, one green, look like a daughter truck. Put on what is like quarter truck. First of all, freestyling in a performance.
Bonji.
Perfecting it as well.
Bonji.
Nobody has done it
incident free other than Bonji.
You also that Red Edge concert?
Yes.
What's that?
Hurry up and fix it.
Yes. Red Edge, hurry up and fix it. Central Bank, all inclusive, any freestyle.
Any kind of technical difficulties.
Oh my gosh.
The man is going to just freestyle until you fix it.
Bonji, one extra interview.
Yeah.
And I mean,
to
So I was going to say that I
feel like this is just a bungee gal in this record.
But Soca Monarch, if you're talking about Soca Monarch,
just
and
like
the best
to do it
on a Soca Monarch stage.
I don't care
who has he give it to other than Bonji?
Pre-PPP Soca Monarch.
Oh gosh. Even if you include that, Float could beat Warrior Cry.
No.
In a Soca Monarch.
Why are you going with the weakest though?
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, I just wanted to say though that I hope and pray that over the years we could come to see that level of competition come back to
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Right.
And I'm not disputing Bunji took it to a whole other level, but he's someone who gets a lot of disrespect now. But Sherwin Winchester was a hell of a Soca Monarch performer.
Yes.
I literally saw Sherwin Winchester come to a Soca Monarch when nobody thought he had any business with it.
Any chance?
Yeah.
And he put on the show and stole that Soca Monarch.
Yes.
They also made groovy Soca Monarch for
Sherwin Winchester. And Stay, I watched it at home. I think that was this year too. The same year, either this year or the year after. But I was at home watching it because I think that was the one that you would and I cried at the team because when he sat on the what was supposed to be the Savannah bench on the stage singing to the piece of costume fragments in the grass, evidence of how we jump and play with mass. Later, take a rest by the Savannah, Bacon Shack. The year done too fast.
All I want is front.
But that stay don't go away. This one, not to jump up, is a slow song. Hold your lover while we chip down with the morning sun, singing and carrying on. Hold on,
but you see,
sweet memories
I think there's some similarities, right? Because Sherwin as well made it his business to perform
a show.
I think
because they came to compete.
That era was that.
What he did better than most of his peers is that he created the story of his song in his performance. So, like, I'll never forget the murder performance, which is what nobody was checking for sure. And then he literally got murdered in the performance, and we were like, what's happening here?
Which is why
he had to win. He had to win it.
Yeah. The year, what year was that? Opened the gate. I don't think he won that year. But still, because he was on a big truck, and but Sherwin has that showmanship. Yeah. Sherwin
he was in the era of showmanship in Soca Monarch.
And he was in the era of showmanship, but he was
head and shoulders above the
excelling it. Yeah. Do we think that, or could it be said that when they reduced the price, the level of showmanship died? Because people, I don't know. I'm not saying it isn't. So I'm asking the question. People.
That's a big thing there. That's a big point.
Because Marshall said it don't make sense spending $2 million to win $1 million. He made that comment.
Right. And so people were putting out
and Bungie and Fair also expressed that.
At the time, when you win Soca Monarch, it meant something. So even if you poured more money than you're winning, your accolades going up, your booking fees going up, and because the competition was respected that this is the best.
So do you? But do you think that exited this competition having reverence, the people having reverence for it, changed when we changed that price? Because I could give you a good example, and I'm sorry to use a work example, but for Citizens Poetry Slam, when we upped that first price to $50,000, that is when people realize this is something that I need to take seriously. Because if somebody is willing to put $50,000 in the hand of somebody who could craft words like this, present a piece like this, it makes everybody else stand up and pay attention
and work for that.
So and now you understand as well as a poet, you have to work for it.
But also remember that Soca Monarch was a privately owned entity, and the powers that be, they decided that they're not gonna, because they were not getting the kind of funding that they were accustomed to, and they decided they dropped the stuff.
Right.
So and because it's private,
but it also goes back to our initial discussion even before of support and the value chain that you're creating and what you're putting into it, what you're getting out of it, and how people, your consumers, your up the line, down the line,
but
feeding into it.
The counter to that is that when the prices went up to the highest it's ever been astronomically, so that didn't mean it get better, because PPV prices was real high.
Okay.
Well.
And the competition was not better. And the competition wasn't better with the better prices. So that says that when the prices get lower, it didn't necessarily mean it dipped because we didn't bounce back. It was just like,
well, was it already watered down by then? Was it hard?
I think that's what happened. I think by the time those prizes came in, it was probably two or three people who might have been able to stir interest. And
it was also by that time as well, Bungie had already said, listen, I've won enough Soca Monarchs, time to give it a rest. So, you understand?
But people who've argued that a better, quote unquote, I'm putting the quotes here, a better artist in Boy who went up, he went forward and he won his quota of Soca Monarchs at that point in time. And if he's a better artist, a bigger artist, him being in it shouldn't need Bungie's showmanship if he's quote unquote a bigger artist. And he's in it now. And Destra was still there. Sherwin was there. Kess was there. Cohen Dubois was there.
I don't think Sherwin was there.
Sherwin
was not there. He wasn't there. Because that would have had to been
apologies to Mr. Winchester.
I don't think he was there.
I think it really started to expose the golfing class in these performers, because you had Bungie, who was elite level stage performance. Yeah, we mentioned Sherwin before. Marshall has always been a very charismatic performer. He's been able to bring a certain amount of energy out of people, and that's his strength. And then you drop a level when these entertainers either decide not to be a part of it or decide that they're not as interested in it to go all out. Now, I've been to Soca Monarch after Marshall left with Like a Boss and just forgot everything, and everyone has said that Soca Monarch
$6 million in prizes.
And I've seen people try. I've seen there are certain artists who have really tried. Like actually, I wouldn't put Voice in that. Voice is cool. Voice is a very solid performer. Like Marshall, he can bring out the energy in his performances. Olatunji did a good stage show in Soca Monarch, and he won.
And the year before that, he was good too.
That year before,
Another guy who really puts a lot into his performances, but he doesn't always have the talent to bring it forward. Charles Marshall. And he has the ideas, and he just doesn't have the ability.
He got into soca too late.
Is the same thing like
he got into soca predominantly too late. That's the problem with Charles.
Because not to think, but another person, because I think Patrice has good performances, but I think her Soca Monarch performances for some reason don't always hit the mark.
I feel the same.
I felt like Gold and Grey was, that's what I'm saying, because
I think she falls into thing with Destra as well.
No,
they don't know how to really raise it to that level.
I don't even think it's I won't put it in Destra's category because Destra's Soca Monarch history is different. I think the issue with Patrice is that she comes, she performs, and she sings well, and then she leaves. But then that is not the using. You see how you're talking about showing and the concept and bringing that concept to life on the stage. Old and Grey was her year to do it.
Right.
Didn't do it.
Several concepts.
But then again,
could have emerged.
Her and Zan, have you ever been involved? They had a concept of a fake marriage, and it was cool. But then it feels
cool,
so generic.
It was cool, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Cool is not good enough.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing with that happens with Patrice, because there's nothing that is stopping her from taking a
Okay.
So
then this brings another question to my mind then, because I find Trinis are so guilty of this, right? We are naturally a very creative people. We are naturally performers and so on. And so you find that in creative spaces, you might be Patrice. I'm not saying this is what happens with Patrice, but I'm saying you are Patrice, you're a performer, and you have your small team around you, and so you all decide amongst yourselves that you all could come up with the concept for the performance. Whereas you could probably engage a professional, go to somebody else. You know what? They're suffering from like a Tyler Perry syndrome.
You want to spend that money? Do you want to jump on?
No, but that you could create jobs for other people in the
I'm getting I'm gonna get an appearance for $15,000 for coming last. I likely come in last. Am I going to spend 10 of that $15,000 and still come last? Or I'm going to spend 2.
See, but then are you? I feel like
mentality.
Are you starting thinking you're coming last, or are you going in the content saying I am going to fight to win, and if I don't, then that is my investment in the culture.
But this is kind of like, let me just to digress quickly. Think of it like the NBA with the seedings, right? If you come second, you don't get priority picks over the next generation of stars. It makes more sense to come last. If you come last, again, top picks for the up-and-coming stars. If you don't win and you come second, you get no picks, and then you have to work 3 times as hard the following year. So let's not spend our entire load of artillery in this here. I'm just thinking of a mentality. It's wrong. But the mentality is that I'm not gonna win. Because I'm not gonna win, and I don't reach. I ain't gonna go all out.
I don't think somebody at that level come in with the mindset of I'm not going to win.
I think the elite levels Marshall, Bungie showing not going to say that. But you see when you go under there, like if it was Marshall in the competition and Charles end up making it to finals, the same Charles as we spoke about.
Charles will fight.
Charles not fighting Marshall.
Charles will fight.
Fight to do what?
I think
I think Charles has shown that he will put out the
he will try.
If he will
know that he's not in contention, but he will put on the show.
So exactly,
but you see somebody like, unfortunately, I'll have to use this person. He's a great artist, Benjai. Benjai will be like, oh well.
Throw the whole quartet.
Ooh. Yeah,
that looking rig.
So that looking rig. So word.
But
me get us 15.
So that takes me, as I said, that takes me back to the statement that I made just now, right? How far or where are you as an individual, as an artist, going to take responsibility for what the contribution you now have to make to our culture? Because I'll say it again, I think I have my perspective on it comes as well because I work in corporate Trinidad and I work in the space of CSR, and so I know that we spend millions of dollars that really and truly, yes, we're trying to get some ROI in the form of awareness, mileage, that kind of thing, but those are not tangible in terms of it doesn't hit our bottom line like that. We hope to see the benefit of it 2-3 years down the road when you remember our brand, and then hopefully you decide to come and bank with us. But I'm not here in my capacity my professional capacity, but I'm just saying.
Easy on the PR.
Yeah, no. I'm not telling my professional capacity.
I get the
but I'm saying that corporate Trinidad understands, and that's why it feels like CSR exists. There's a certain amount that you just have to put back into, you know what I mean? You can't just keep reaping from a forest and then expect the trees to grow.
Let's get back to the Trinidadian mentality as we keep going back to. And you have to remember the space that you're in. Our mentality is, what is our level of national pride? Across the board.
But then our mentality
But
at some point in time we have to recognize. But at some point in time we have to recognize that mentality is not serving us. Exactly. And
it hasn't been serving us for 20 years. And it's not getting us anywhere. But talking about best to do on a Soca Monarch stage. But talking about best to do on a Soca Monarch stage. Well, yes, we've agreed, Bungie. But the High Priest of Soca came, that was what, 2013? 2012, 2013? Fantastic Friday.
Oh yeah, Super Blue.
Super Blue. Came to Fantastic Friday.
Well, I thought we have to talk about Super Blue because Super Blue was Mr. Soca Monarch.
Exactly.
Up until the emergence of Bungie Garland. Right.
Well, I would want to disagree with you, but go ahead. I might want to disagree with you, but
there was a small window there.
You know what I was like Elijah Wine when Jordan retired. Yeah. It's like, oh well, I have this 2-year gap now where I can do this.
Hold this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he come back.
But I think we have
then
to.
Bungie came out. And
but Super Blue. We have to.
But you had to put some respect on
that.
For
our generation forward is Bungie. But the competition is really
into
Super
our
Blue.
generation and say we old timers. We know this thing.
Yeah, but again, did he beat the best of our generation?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you mean in terms of Bungie?
Yeah. The best Soca Monarch performer, which we agreed from our generation forward is Bungie. Super Blue was the undisputed king before that.
And Super Blue really didn't have to. He didn't have to.
He never clashed the king. He never clashed our king.
But he didn't have to.
But Super Blue also lost. Super Blue lost to Ronnie McIntosh. Ronnie McIntosh.
Ronnie McIntosh. You're calling some.
Yeah, but I am not putting Ronnie McIntosh in the pantheon of great elite level Soca.
No, I think for his
boy.
No. Strike that.
That hurt their feelings.
Strike that from the record.
That's not too bad.
Strike that from the record.
Remember Bungie Garland for being one of the best Soca.
And you are going to remember Ronnie McIntosh.
Having Ronnie and Caro.
No.
Let me Ronnie McIntosh was a whole brand. Because first Ronnie made these colorful 3/4 cargo pants with the big old pockets popping out. My mother had a couple. My grandpa had a
trench
couple.
coat and the hat.
And the trench coat and the hat and the t-shirt underneath. Who was doing it with some high tops and some high socks?
General Grant was doing that?
No, not like Ronnie McIntosh. Don't disrespect Ronnie McIntosh. I need to get quite disrespectful.
And that is why they had to call him back several Soca Monarchs after to perform.
Yes, nostalgia. We need nostalgia. We can't find nostalgia. We put in respect on his name, but if I'm talking, if you give me top 3 Soca Monarch performers or performances,
let's pick one from each decade if we can. Then.
What did you say?
Definitely
80s, Super's 80s.
In the 80s.
90s.
And 90s because remember it says 90s.
Soca Monarch didn't come on until 90s.
So in 90s was and 2000 was Bungie. And when was Ronnie?
Somewhere in between.
In between the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
You cannot discount him.
I'm not discounting
Ronnie's even the man who beat Super Blue fair and square.
Right, because we're talking
but it's also okay.
I had one of the best years ever, but that doesn't mean I'm a great.
He won it twice, He didn't win it once.
Yes, he beat Super Blue.
And those songs are legendary.
I feel you can't discredit.
I'm not discouraging the man. I'm just saying that he's not he in the top. Up there with who?
I remember, I have visions, memories of seeing.
For the carnival.
He sang the one.
Yeah.
He sang the one.
He had the good wood donkey song on us.
Yes, he had the good wood donkey. No disrespect.
No disrespect to the United Sisters.
Joanne and the rest of the United Sisters.
Yeah.
Your wood donkey was also quite good, but Ronnie's wood donkey.
Yeah.
or something, and how it go look. That was like,
and again talking about those songs that stand out, those songs that have the spirit of carnival but still stand out more than just rag and flag. How it go look,
cool. But it's not my playlist.
Nah.
I'm making a soca playlist and I have 5 songs to put. No, them there.
Oh god.
Nah, if I had to make like my all-time best of soca playlist.
Just 5 songs. Just say 5 songs. You have no whole playlist. Okay, part whole 20. You must play there.
But you cannot having 5 soca songs.
If you had to put, when you go back away. And the person and them ask you, what's the 5 best songs your country produce? You not playing them?
No, I giving them a whole playlist. I'm not stopping at 5.
No, you can't get them in.
I
can't. You have to go in both places like a Jamaican.
Yeah, going both
places. Yeah, say
no,
we
have you have to hold this and this and this
Take this
and this and that one. And if you're looking for something with horns, this. If you're looking for something groovy,
about horns,
this.
About horns.
If you're yes. With horns
from our generation come
if
forward.
If you're looking for power,
you have to throw in someone all like us.
If you're looking for a top 5 Marshall, a top 5 what I could do. That's what like our favorite song is.
Fair enough. But top 5 Soca Monarch winning songs.
So what do you think of so we discussed a bit like the competition of old and
how you feel about the competition where it gets to?
No, I find it so sad. You all don't know how I
nothing is go from strength to strength in carnival, Lloyd. That's my problem. It don't go from strength to strength.
Like I wish this could be the year we see like the re-entry of well, I know the big ones not coming.
No. Voice is supposed to come back, and there is a rumor that a certain red man might re-enter for the free money.
If it is you're having Soca Monarch, you need to have healthy competition.
Right.
And you need to have healthy competition around similar levels. So you need voice, second star, pretty, all of those young artists we're discussing. You need all of them in it. And all our brethren thing, all of them is like to play the plane. You need them to properly compete.
I think they will.
Second star tries to compete. But I just think voice outperforms.
Fair enough, but at the time of when Soca Monarch was great, we had peacock and thing in carnival. Right now we don't want no peacock, everybody is either friend or sensitive.
But I also think it's difficult.
Going back to that whole
them friendly or sensitive.
When Bungie really went off, there was so much competition because it was Maximus. It was
Maximus from 23rd. We kick it way in 2003.
It was
23rd.
Yeah. You had real competitors. Yeah. But then now too, I think it's also difficult, or that much more difficult, because we were talking about again the Power Groovy, and then now it's just Soca Monarch, and then you're comparing apples to oranges, because how am I comparing, say, I don't know, King and Queen to Overdue?
Right.
You know, or so I think that makes it that much more.
You've been to those Soca Monarchs from back in the day, because I remember going to Soca Monarch and getting on real bad to Blazer who singing Rella Honey Tune and things. And he would come in top 5 with what would be considered a groovy song.
But is that fair? Because I mean that's the crowd, and the crowd will laugh at everything. But as as a judge, I am judging Overdue, or I'm judging a groovy song.
I think that's
and a
where
power song.
That's where the whole argument where Sean and Chester became a epic performer that brought his song to life comes in. Because if you have a power tune, if you use Mr. Killer and you know you could sing, pick up something, and the entire crowd go and grab people and run and do what you probably not go and study, well, let me make this stage show so great that people will pay attention to different things, because you don't know the crowd in a frenzy. The groovy artist, on the other hand, has to bring a song to life, and that's where she has
to work a little harder.
Right, but again, so understand that now he has to work a little harder. He has to put a concept in. He has to put a thing in order to get that crowd participation or that crowd response. That somebody with no presentation, no thing.
And I think that this is why people get upset about Soca Monarch, because they keep on reminding us that crowd performance is only 10%. Crowd response only 10%.
Do they ever really put out?
They don't put out the results.
I don't believe it. It's a private competition with secret results.
But there's also, again, even in your criteria, so you have a crowd response.
I've seen the performances
isn't content.
We have the Ola Tunjis and we have the show in Winchester to prove that they are. It shows that.
Right,
those
it
were
shows that
winners, though.
Right, but it was also in a separate category.
Sherwin definitely wasn't a clear-cut winner.
2005, Dead or Alive wasn't a clear-cut.
No, we talking about
talking about his groovy.
No, but those
he was
were
clear-cut
also
winners for groovy
because they were in a separate category.
Groovy, didn't show
They were in a separate category.
Nah,
so
that was out of nowhere.
But those were in a separate category where you were comparing what his groovy offering was compared to other groovy soca's, and then you had his power soca compared to other power soca.
What I'm saying is that's where the developmental stage comes from. You know you're at a disadvantage. Right. It comes like a football team.
So you would develop, if you were in a disadvantaged position, which groovy soca artists, so those who have their groovy offerings, would think that they are, but does it help develop the showmanship of a power soca artist?
Nah, it doesn't.
It does. That's what I'm saying, because if you know that I am at a disadvantage because nobody ain't picking up nothing to run with it, then yes, I could see where you put that much more effort into your this, into your that, and you might score in the lyrical content category or whatnot, or in the voice, because I think they think you're on your right vocal, right. But then but then you have the other group who says, well, you know,
forget all that.
They come in and so I will. You understand? I will have a three-liner dancers.
So then we really have to bring in the curious case of one of the top 3 soca performers of all time,
which is
soca performers of all time, Mr. Neil Iwer George.
Right.
Because he has next to nothing in both stage show.
Right.
And lyrics.
Exactly.
And he is always there.
Right.
He's always thereabouts. How does he do it?
Right. And if I am a groovy, that's what I'm saying. So he in his power soca, because he is not right. So he is not in a groovy. So and he comes in with I am the water lord and I will sing on this castle and wet people down. And if I am in a groovy, if I am in a groovy song, or I'm entering with a groovy track, and I know I'm going up against Marshall, you understand? Or am I going to think, not Marshall, sorry, Iwer, am I going to think twice because this is what I would think twice, because I'm not going to then put out the money, put out the effort, put out the thing for the showmanship, and I know this one bottle of water.
This is what we need to analyze. How does Iwer succeed? How does he do it?
Some things, there are some people who are universal anomalies.
I think this is why, for me personally, I think Bunji would be the greatest of all time to do it.
In Soca
Monarch. Because the greatest Soca Monarch competitor of all time. Yeah. Because he was doing it all when he didn't need to. Yeah. Where he didn't. No, because he could have wrestled.
He needed to.
He could have come on freestyle.
He could have come with a gimmick.
I disagree. I think he needed to, especially those early years.
Bunji was the man that had people in Westmoreland.
Bunji and Iwer George. Bunji and Iwer George. When Bunji won his first Soca Monarch, he tied with Iwer George.
Yes, but he tied with a veteran as a literal amateur.
And not only that,
I wouldn't say he was an amateur.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. No, but he wasn't. But he wasn't.
Iwer was in his 44th year.
But he wasn't exactly. And he wasn't the kind of household name that he was by the time he sang.
This was the Bunji who was getting fight down, who ended up singing. If you see my face, always screwed. This is that Bunji who get fight down for the first part of the career, who say he's singing Jamaican music, he's singing raga soca.
Because he was carving out a space for himself.
Exactly. So to come here now at a disadvantage, quote unquote, and then tie with the was pretty much going to be the incumbent.
I really think you'll need to revisit those Soca Monarchs. The competition then.
What Bunji did
when he did Warrior Cry and he went clear, and then it was like, oh well, we can't beat him again, right? That's when he went clear, right? But before that,
not spending my 4th place money.
He was in a dogfight. There were at least 3 or 4, 5 artists who could have taken Bunji.
Because I think what Bunji was smart about doing, what Bunji, I think at the time thought was his disadvantage was his advantage. Yeah. Bunji was connecting with
working man,
with the ghetto, with the hood.
It wasn't just a ghetto too. It was everybody. It was everyone.
He was connecting.
No, but everybody know ghetto is cool until you have to go there.
Right. So he was connecting with the underdog in everybody, he thought that was his disadvantage.
Anybody who get fired was a Bunji fan.
But in the way that Bunji was able to, and that's why I say I think he would have won that year regardless when he tied with Iwer. I don't think he had to, because like Voice, the first year Voice won Soca Monarch, I wasn't entirely convinced, and I'll tell you why. I felt as though Voice had done what Bungie had done, just on a more quieter scale. The Voice had an audience. Voice had a following, and they came with him to the Soca Monarch, and so he was able to perform and put on a show that because he was comfortable in knowing.
He admitted that he kind of messed up the performance and thought he lost.
Because he was comfortable in knowing that he had his crowd there, and Bungie had built a crowd. He probably was not aware
that he had built a
crowd, but the crowd came for him. By that
That
time,
first Soca Monarch Bungie won, actually. So much of the crowd went on the stage during his performance. He was literally running on the edge of the stage, performing from the ghetto, and he literally couldn't move, but the whole crowd was still into it.
Bungie captured the hearts of everybody, and that crowd was there waiting to see him perform that song. And that is why
they wait for him.
And we waited.
Wait for him.
And we wait. I have to say we.
It's a situation where he can't put anybody to perform after him, because there was waiting.
And he continued to do it even when he, I think, knew he didn't have to, because there
he didn't have to set himself on fire.
We all saw the point where Bungie hit the stratosphere, and you could not. There was no way to bring him back down. There was no way to ever touch him. And he still gave us
you said the nail on the head was earlier when you said that he was arguably better than Marshall, and Marshall was at his best. And that's the biggest accolade I can give, because that's the number one soca artist of all time, quote unquote. And if he was better than the number one at the number one's prime, don't fight him.
I personally believe Bungie was the greatest to do it. The greatest.
And I think that's how we started, and I think all that we said, and it just come right back to Bungie. So I think this is a good place to pause, maybe have some water, and come back to it.
Yes.